Hello everyone, it's Georgia here, and I am at this beautiful local park in my neighborhood just to get some exercising, be out in the sun, be out in nature, and really absorb what nature offers to us. And also, it's a way of me maintaining my high spirits, I want to call it. I know there's so much happening around the world, as we all know, and we are going through at this moment in time on this earth and in this year of 2020. And today, just so you know, it is March the 28th of 2020, and I felt like doing this recorded video mainly because I have not done any Facebook Lives lately or have not put anything on social media at this point. And I wanted to tap into a few different things that I have been experiencing, I've been contemplating, I've been looking into, reflecting on, and really making note of at this point. So where do I start? What do? I just didn't know what I was going to talk about, really. I just felt the need to record this video. So whatever comes out naturally. And maybe that's one of the points of this whole experience that we are all having at this moment on earth with the coronavirus. So one of the things that is important is really listening to what we truly do want to communicate, and not having to have it that it has to be a certain way and it has to go in a certain order. So a lot of times we think, okay, I'll have my list of things that I want to say. I'll have my, order of how I'm going to say it, and I'll have a way of saying it. And over the years, what I've been experiencing is that sometimes it's just letting those words flow out of you however they're meant to flow, and in the order they're meant to flow, and in the experience that they want to communicate through our voice, through our body, through our hand movement, as you can tell, and let them be. And this time on earth, with what we're going through, I feel is a time where we can all sit still and reassess and reconnect into what is it that we truly want in our life. Who do we want to truly be? Where do we want to be? How do we want to experience the feelings that we want to experience and the connections we want to experience with people and with ourselves? And I understand there is so much fear happening at the moment. There's so much panic. There is so much anxiety and stress and uncertainty and not knowing what we're going to do next. And that is there. That I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say it's not there, and I'm not going to say that it's all good. On the flip side of that, there is also an opportunity to contemplate and look at, where do I stand inside of that? Who am I inside of that? How do I want to respond or react inside of that? What changes do I want to make in my life that allow me to move forward in a more pleasant, enjoyable, committed, loving, caring, expanding way? what is it that I truly need in my life right now to create more balance in myself, to create more awareness in myself, to allow me to decrease that fear levels and have more peace within myself. What is it? How can I bring more balance to my nervous system in a moment to moment experience? Because you know what? We are going through all this together, and we are all going through the ups and downs of it. And some of us may be experiencing it at a very high level, and others may be experiencing it on a lower level, whether it's fear or joy, whether it's trauma, whether it's panic or being in our center. Everyone will have their own experience about what is going on right now. And my invitation to you would be to start listening moment by moment at what your body needs, what your mind is, that word, what is it? What your mind is really craving for. So your heart, your mind, your body can feel more at peace or more balanced, or have a little bit more certainty within yourself, because there's so much uncertainty out there. And it's really actually upsetting to see that obviously so many people are losing their jobs, so many people have family, mortgages, have got economic breakdowns, have family members that possibly have been affected by the the virus, or they personally have been affected by it. And there's this scarcity around it of, am I going to get it, am I not going to get it, and all that. So yes, the advice is stay home. Or in my case, okay, I'm close to home and I'm at a park by myself. Pretty much there's no one around here right now. So I'm not risking anyone at this point. Well, that's my belief system. And there could be many things around that, what we touch when we're out and what we do. And I really want to also pay attention to that because it's important, I feel, to look into where do we judge in life. So even this, I might get judged by doing this as well, by going for a walk or sitting on this bench right now. And I might get judged for doing little things in my own isolating way, because I find this, well, it may not be little, but I find this really allows me to reconnect with me, move my body, be with nature, get some sun, breathe some air, and allow myself to recenter moment by moment. So that is what brings a bit of balance within myself. So that is important to me. And I find that in me allowing myself to judge myself at that time, I'm actually taking away some of that enjoyment from me. So maybe it's important for us to look at where we judge. If you are going to judge me, or if you're going to judge other people, or if you're going to judge yourself, or if I judge myself, or if I judge other people, because it's one of the things I feel that it will allow us, these whole circumstances will allow us to look into and see what is the level of judgment that we have on ourselves and others. And by doing that, we can recognize it more, we can acknowledge it more, and we can see when does our energy levels drop. When do we start feeling a drop of energy? And when do we start feeling an increase of energy? Because, yeah, my experience is that sometimes or most times when I have realized that I've judged myself or I've been judging others for whatever reason, I do see a drop of energy there. And you know what? I'm stealing the enjoyment that I feel within me from myself. So that's a point to look at, as well as what I mentioned before. Another thing is, that's what's coming up for me, is the guilt factor. Do you feel guilty about who you're being right now? If you're self-isolating, for example, and you are eating more, whether that is nice stuff and nutritious stuff, or things that may not be as nutritional and are considered to be in some way unhealthy, or things that bring your energy levels again down, or your sugar levels up and then they have that drop of energy. So if you're noticing that you're, for example, eating more or drinking more, drinking alcohol, or it could be soft drinks, or it could be something that really brings your energy levels down, and you notice yourself again that you're judging yourself, that's one thing, and you're starting to feel guilty, that's another thing, then what happens again to your energy levels? So guilt is another thing. So where do you start feeling guilt in your life, and how do you see that, observe that, and notice that, and acknowledge that, and then have that shift or make that shift? Because from my experience again is that as soon as I start feeling guilty about something and bad about it, then again my energy levels drop. So food is a big one. That's why I mentioned food as an example. But it could be anything. It could be going for a walk by yourself and maybe feeling guilty about that, because other people are really, really, really staying at home, and you might be judging yourself and saying, I shouldn't be doing that, I feel bad, I shouldn't be doing that. But go by your country's rules and regulations at this point. Go by your own personal intuition, and as a human, how you care about yourself and others, and follow that moment by moment. Follow that, because that is the point where you will realize what's important to you and what's important to society. So I know that, I've got connection with my relatives and friends in Greece, and they're in a quarantine at the moment. They've been in quarantine for I'd say 2 weeks now, a bit over 2 weeks from what I remember. And obviously self-isolation before that. And, it's really hard on them. And it's hard for people here as well in Australia that I know. And it's really hard for everyone at the moment, and especially in the countries that there are so many cases and so many deaths, and it's just expanding and getting bigger and bigger. And I know it's not easy. And for them to go out, they need to, have a particular form, or they need a SMS and tell, the authorities, this is where I'm going, that's what I'm doing, all that stuff. And they're restricted in all that. And while I'm recording this, we might have new changes, and this may appear for us as well, where we have to do other, go to different stages. And what I'm doing right now may be restricted. But what I wanted to say inside of that, it's a time to reflect It's a time to go inwards and notice what are the feelings that are coming up for you. What are the fears? What are the experiences, the thoughts, the ideas? What is the things that you really haven't dealt with before that you're noticing right now? That you're noticing, it's like, oh, this is boiling up. Like, oh, I've not been with myself maybe forever. Or you have been, but not to this level, not to this degree. And you're finding it so, oh, that tightness in your heart, it's in there, and you're finding it hard. And maybe you are making yourself feel bad about it for feeling all these things. You're making yourself feel wrong about all these feelings. Well, it's a time to reflect on that. So one thing that I do in my life, and I've done this many years now, definitely the past 3 to 4 years, I've done it because of my own personal experiences in life, and whether it's heartbreaks or breakdowns or different experiences in my life. I love to journal or write poems or voice record myself. I just love to do things that I know will get those thoughts out, put them on paper, and let my hand just flow with it. The words come in my mind, I just write them down, and I really feel like, oh, I got it off me. So that has been a very, very amazing experience for me, writing things down. And one other thing I do, as I said, is voice record myself. So there are times when I've driven and I drive, or I'm at home, or I'm at the park, and I go, oh my God, there's all these emotions coming up for me. And I don't know, who do I talk to, what do I do? It's like at that moment I want to express them. So what do? I voice record myself. I start speaking to myself. I know, it's funny, yeah? But this is such a healing process for me. I start speaking to myself and record what I really want to say, whether it was directly to someone and I record it, or to myself. And inside of that, what I discover is that, oh my God, what I discover is that